We're recording.
All right. We're ready to go. We are TG. All right, good to go. Comrades, you are called to the opening ceremony. He's all right. Comrades, attention. All members and guests who are veterans will give the hand salute, and all other place your hand over your heart. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ready? Two. All right. Comrades will now be led in your prayer by the chaplain.
Comrade Hoffman, I know you're not officially our chaplain anymore, but could you lead us in prayer this morning?
I would be honored to. Thank you. Let us pray together. The psalmist declared, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." Almighty God, accept our thanks for this beautiful day and for all of its blessings. We ask that you would guide and direct our chapter, its officers, and our actions as we meet today. Grant that each of us may feel a sense of responsibility in fulfilling the promises made to our service-connected disabled veterans and their families. May you bless our meeting today and grant us wisdom for the decisions to be made. For it's to this end we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, have a seat. All right. As a reminder, we're here to address only matters specific to our organization. All discussion must be relevant to our mission statement, which I will now read. We are dedicated to a single purpose, empowering veterans to lead high-quality lives with respect and dignity. We accomplish this by ensuring that veterans and their families can access the full range of benefits available to them, fighting for the interests of American injured heroes on Capitol Hill, and educating the public about the great sacrifices and needs of the veterans transitioning back to civilian life. This mission is to carry forward by providing free professional assistance to veterans and their families obtaining benefits and service earned through military service and provided by the Department of Veterans Affairs and other agencies of the government, providing outreach concerning its programs, service to the American people generally, and to disabled veterans and their families specifically. Representing the interests of disabled veterans, their families, their widow spouse, and their orphans before Congress, the White House, and the judicial branch, as well as state and local government. Extending DAV's mission of hope into the community where these veterans and their family live through a network of state-level department and local chapters, providing a structure through which disabled veterans can express their compassion for their fellow veterans through a variety of volunteer programs. I now declare this meeting in Fairfax on April 15th, 2023, open for transaction of such business as may rightfully come before us. Comrade Adjutant, will you now call the roll of officers, please?
That I will. Roll call of officers. Commander Shamala Capizzi.
Here.
Senior Vice Commander Anna Lutz. Excused. First Junior Vice Commander Bob Whaley.
Here.
Second Junior Vice Commander Joe LaHaye.
Here.
Treasurer Kathleen Schultz. Immediate Past Commander Shane Lehrman. Here. Department Executive Committee Member Shamala Capizzi.
Here.
Alternate Department Executive Committee Member Shane Lehrman. Present. Officer of the Day Jim Anders. Jim is excused. For those of you who don't know, he is still struggling with Parkinson's, and him and his wife are going to a big Parkinson's event today, so they will not be joining us. Judge Advocate Erwin Schultz.
Here.
Adjutant Shane Lehrman. Present. So we have a bunch of guests in the room with us today as well as online. So I'm just going to go ahead and read into the record real quick. In the room, we have Shane Lehrman, Gary Salpini, Shamala Capizzi, Amanda Alvarez. See, I'm getting all these words there. I'm going to juice up. John Berger, Matt Pender, Daniel Harrison, Joe LaHaye, oh, Ron. Yeah, I just couldn't read your writing. I just couldn't read your writing. I'm like, what the hell is, oh, I saw that. Kathy Schultz, Erwin Schultz, Frank Hall, and King Maradino. Did I get it right? Marandino? Yes. And online, just to make sure I get it right. Uh-oh. I'm doing stuff. Tell me to stop doing stuff. Online with us, we have Scott Schaefer, Fred Skaggs, John Hoffman, Matt John, and Bob Whaley. Did I miss anybody online or in the room? Nope. Right on. Comrade Commander, we have a quorum and we have approximately 30 members present.
Awesome. That's amazing. That's probably the most we've had, right?
In a while.
In a while.
Yep. After the pandemic, it's been hard getting a lot of people active again. So thank you all for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for spending your Saturday with Chapter 10. We really appreciate it. So thank you so much. All right. So, Comrade Adjutant, will you read the minutes of the last meeting, please?
The March 11th business meeting the meeting itself was recorded and is now live. For some reason, I had more than enough time to try to make it work. And long story, incredibly short, something happened and the last meeting was recorded for 17 hours and 54 minutes.
Wow.
I'm not quite sure why that happened, but try to convert that into an online platform.
I know.
Exactly. But I was able to get it to work. It is currently posted on the website as of this morning. There is a direct link to it. And in reality, it's only about 53 minutes long instead of 17 hours. So don't be deterred. And I move that we accept that recording as the minutes of the March meeting.
Okay, awesome. Do we have a first?
Yep, that's me.
That's him. Yep. Second. Awesome. Any questions on the motions? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Nay. All right. Motion carries. Eyes above the nose. Did I do that correctly?
Not really, but it's all right.
Okay,
We'll
okay,
let it
okay.
go. We'll let it go.
I'm getting there, right?
For those of you
Oh,
who,
these.
for those of you who aren't familiar, for almost 11 years now, we have a long running joke that the first vote of every meeting goes, all those in favor say aye, all of those no. There you have it. The eyes are above the nose.
Okay. There you have it.
She's still learning it. It's all right. We'll let it go.
Okay, good. I appreciate it.
Your second year is when you pick up on, you realize you picked up on it.
Well, let's see if I have a second year. All right, so we'll now hear the treasury report. Please, Miss Kathleen. Yes, please. Trade. Watch out for the cords.
Comrade spouse.
Yeah.
Your machine's making noise. Okay. This is the report for the month of March. Our beginning balance was $10,676.36. We had no income. We wrote one check number 4809, which was written on the 19th of March, to Fort Knox Self-Storage Falls Church. It's for our annual storage unit fee and the late charges.
Mm-hmm.
However, we are good until April now of
Okay,
next
good.
year.
Okay.
It's $2,001, leaving us a balance of $8,675.36. And this does balance with my balanced bank statement. We still have one outstanding check that Shane's going to give back to me
Oh,
eventually
yes.
of $25. And the deposit doesn't reflect on this bank statement for March, but it has been put in the bank.
Okay, awesome.
I
Okay,
make a
awesome.
motion that you accept my report as read, subject to audit.
Thank you. Thank you. So do I have a second?
You have a first.
First and a second. Is there any questions on the motion?
Make sure you identify that was John Berger making the second
I-
since we're recording.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So Comrade John Berger did the second. Is there any question on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Kathleen, for the update. All right, communications.
Hey, we don't have any. Look at that. I know. I get excited about that too. I have a special spot for chapter mail, and when there's none there, I'm like, yay.
All right, so let's hear about the chaplain report, please.
Before Comrade John Hoffman, before you start, this is generally the chaplain's report where we talk about sickness and distress. And I actually have two real quick, John, before you go. And that is the first one is Tom Wendell. Everybody remembers our chapter commander, Tom Wendell, for over 3 years, or actually more than that. It was probably 4. Tom retired from DAV and he's now living in Northern California. And one of the reasons he decided to retire is because he had cancer and he wanted to retire to try to recover. He has an upcoming scan. They think they've got the entire cancer. They think it's done. He may have one more chemotherapy session left, but he said he is really seriously struggling with the side effects of chemo. I spoke with Tom a couple of days ago, and I think that's right now is what's plaguing him the most, is a lot of really weird side effects. I'm not that familiar with chemotherapy and side effects, but he says when he gets his hands and his feet wet, if he doesn't dry them off right away, he'll get blisters under his skin and it turns into ulcers. And he's got a few ulcers on his feet now. They're trying to heal. So that's just kind of one of those weird side effects of chemo I've never really heard of before. So Tom is, other than that, is doing very well. And I also wanted to let everybody know, if you're not friends with her, Tanya Colbert was an active member of Chapter 10 for a very, very long time. She was an officer of Chapter 10, and she brought her dad to several of our meetings and events and cleanings. And he lived on the West Coast, but she would bring him out here every so often. Unfortunately, he passed on April 7th.
Wow.
So we looked into trying to send cards, or excuse me, to send flowers and floral arrangements to the funeral. They have subsequently asked that no one do that. So we're going to get a card together and send it to Tanya on behalf of Chapter 10.
Yes, they do. It's on their website. Her father passed away of prostate cancer, so they want us to donate, if we can, donate to a specific charity. So yeah, I have
I'll
that
put it in the
information.
follow-up.
Yeah.
In the after action, we'll send out and put that in there.
Yeah, fellow Marine.
Fellow Marine, yeah. So that is all I have for sickness and distress. Comrade Reverend Hoffman, do you have anything additional?
Well, you mentioned about Jim Anderson. He's at the Parkinson's conference, which is great. I didn't get a chance to talk to Erwin. I don't know if we have any update on Erwin Schultz. With myself, I've been battling with my Parkinson's with rises and falls and blood pressure. I went to bed last night with blood pressure of 81/48. Woke up this morning, it was 160/84. And about a half hour ago, it was 120/70. So it's just erratic, just going crazy today. So,
Well, I hope you're doing better, John, really, I hope they get all that kind of evened out for you. And Erwin is here, and he's here, and he looks angry. So I'm assuming he's as fine as usual. Is that correct, Erwin?
I didn't hear any of his comments as usual, so.
Crotchety, which is the same thing, just harder to spell.
Oh,
Erwin clarified, John, that he's just crotchety today, but other than that, he's doing well.
That's great. Thank you.
And shaking like a leaf in a twister, but welcome to life.
our new normal. All right. We will now have the reports of committee and officers. So women, veterans. Women veterans, the House committee has reauthorized the Women Veteran Task Force. Our DAV Associate National Legislative Director, Naomi Mathis, if you haven't met her, great person, is our representative. The task force will be holding a congressional roundtable later this month. So that's awesome that they're bringing that back. All right. And then DAV has previously published 2 reports on women veterans in 2014 and 2018, and new reports being finalized and hope released in May of 2023. So that was good. I remember those reports.
They're working on it now. They've been working with tons of different researchers and VA scientists and psychiatrists and women veterans, and hopefully the report will be coming out next month.
Awesome. All right, PACT Act
Service
claims.
officer. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do this if you don't
Okay.
mind. Real quick, for those of you who aren't familiar with the PACT Act, I think everybody is now, and we're going to keep talking about it because it has done so much. It is adding diseases for veterans exposed to burn pits for the first Persian Gulf and second, and OEF in that area. It's added 2 new diseases for Agent Orange related diseases and added 3 new locations for radiation risk activities for veterans who are exposed to radiation, and 2 different events in the 60s, and the cleanup of Inawataka Atoll from 77 to 80. So far, the VA is reporting that they've received over 400,000 PACT Act claims just from August. Nearly 90,000 of those have been decided, so they're almost halfway through the claims that they've received to date. They've done over 2 million toxic screenings on veterans at the VA health centers. They've enrolled over 180,000 new veterans into the VA healthcare system. And if you get your claim filed prior to August 10th, if it's a PACT Act related disability or claim, it'll be effective August 10th of 2022. So if you get it submitted now before August 9th of this year, you'll get 1 year essentially of retroactive payments if the decision is granted. So those were numbers that VBA the Veterans Benefits Administration had recently put out. Just wanted to share with everybody so you could see all of the different things that are being done by VA at this point. And let me update the record. We've had 2 new guests since we've started, or 2 new people join the meeting, not guests per se. One is Michael Gray, and one is our Senior Vice Commander, Anna Lutz. They are now both in the room for this morning's meeting.
Oh,
Let me keep going.
yes, please, on the legislative updates.
There
please.
are some legislative updates that I just want to throw at everybody. On April 18th, next week, the House Veterans Affairs Committee is going to be having a hearing on providing veterans access to life-saving substance abuse disorder treatment. On the 19th, they're going to be having an oversight and investigative subcommittee hearing on 5 different pieces of veterans legislation. Also on April 19th, the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee is holding a hearing on veterans consumer protection, preventing financial exploitation of veterans and their benefits. Anybody familiar with the 3M lawsuit and Camp Lejeune?
Yes.
Those are going to be topics of those hearings because it's getting out of control.
Mhm.
So Congress is going to be addressing some of those issues at that hearing. And then on April 25th, there will be an additional hearing in the House on the Electronic health record modernization. They're going to take a look at the pharmacy updates. And then on April 26th, there will be another hearing in front of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee on 14 different pieces of legislation. DAV will be testifying at that hearing. I get to do it. I know it's exciting. Actually, it is. It's a lot of fun. So I'll be testifying at that hearing on behalf of DAV. And then also just a few other things. Don't forget, if you want to stay involved and engage what's going on legislatively on a national level, sign up for DAV's Commanders Action Network or the DAV CAN. Go to davcan.org and you can sign up and you'll get legislative updates of all of the new bills that DAV supports that we do campaigns on. And there are some new ones, and I'm just going to share a couple with you. One is Caring for Our Survivors Act. What this will do is it will increase the amount of compensation a survivor gets if a veteran's death is due to their service-connected disabilities. Currently, it's about 40% of what a 100% veteran receives. This would increase that to 55% of what a 100% disabled veteran receives. They haven't made any long-term changes to this bill or to the DIC program since about 1993. So it's due for some updates. The next one is the Veterans Compensation Cost of Living Adjustment Act, or the COLA. What this will do is provide an annual increase. Veterans Affairs benefits are different than most other government agencies. Ours isn't automatic. Ours has to be passed every year. There's advantages to that and disadvantages to that. The advantages is that we get a fresh look at how they're going to do it. The disadvantage is if it's automatic, we don't have to worry about it. Another disadvantage is they could tie it to a very specific consumer price index that we don't agree with, but then we may be stuck with. So that's why they keep doing it annually. We still have some ability to barter, if you will, on how that cost of living adjustment is done. Good news is it was pending in the House and the Senate. The Senate already passed it unanimously last week. So the Senate's already passed the cost of living adjustment. Now it'll go to the House, and the House needs to pass it before the end of the year so we can get our cost of living adjustment effective December 1st, but we won't see until our compensation benefits until January 1st. And then two more bills. One is the DRIVE Act. What this will do, it will increase the amount a veteran receives for mileage reimbursement for veterans getting health care. If you have a medical appointment and you live a certain distance away, you can receive so many cents per mileage. This is looking to increase it up to 51 cents. Because I think it's at 41 now, correct? Anybody know that for sure? We'll just all say that Shane's right and go with that one. Everybody's good? Rock and roll. And then the last one I want to mention is the Major Richard Starr Act. Long story short, this will impact veterans who are retired from the military due to a combat disability, not due to longevity. So if you were medically retired from your branch's service due to a combat injury, right now you're not able to receive both that and your VA compensation. What the Richard Major Starr Act would do, and I said that wrong, and so I'm just moving on, is it will allow veterans to receive both. This bill will eliminate that offset. So what this bill would do is allow those medical retirees to receive both their medical retirement and their VA compensation without any offsets whatsoever. Any questions on those? Rock and roll. I was hoping we wouldn't have to address that this morning. Well, no, it's not even that it gets shot down. Let me explain. There's been a lot of chatter online in the last few months that everybody believes the VA is going to means test veterans compensation. Anybody see or hear about that online?
Yes.
Every 2 years before a brand new Congress, the Congressional Budget Office, which is not a policy arm, which is not a legislative arm, they're nonpartisan, lack of the better word, financial hacks that work for Congress. All they do is provide analysis and estimates. Every 2 years, they provide a report called Options to Reduce the Federal Deficit. Comes out every 2 years. And they go across the board on finding ways to save the government money. Every 2 years in that report, there are some horrible ideas that impact veterans. Every 2 years, we review the report and think, what are they thinking? But their recommendations, suggestions, opinions, are they going to be impacted into law? No. And here's why. They are not a legislative body. They're just giving a lawmaker who is silly enough to introduce a bill to reduce veterans' compensation benefits a choice to do so. These ideas come up every so often outside of these reports, so we have to be very mindful of them. But the Secretary of the VA had a press conference 2 weeks ago, and he was asked this question, and he made it very clear they have no authority to implement any of those ideas because they'll take a requirement of an act of Congress. So somebody's got to introduce that bill. It's got to pass the House, the Senate, and then be signed into law by the president. I'm feeling fairly confident those ideas aren't going to be signed into law by the president to take benefits away from veterans during a potential campaign cycle. I'm just saying. So everybody's getting fired up because there are two knuckleheads on YouTube who believe they're veteran influencers who believe this is the gospel truth. They're wrong. They have no idea what they're talking about. They think they do, but they don't. These things have not been enacted. They will not be enacted by the VA, and it will take a member of Congress to introduce them, which, based on my multiple conversations with the Hill the last month, nobody up there is even entertaining the idea of introducing one of those ideas as a piece of legislation. So thank you for bringing that up, Ron. I've answered about 40 or 50 phone calls of those at our headquarters the last few weeks because everybody believes it's true because somebody on YouTube said it was true, so therefore it must be true, but it is not. So anybody have any questions about those proposed "we're taking your money because we want to" claims? Awesome. Thanks, Ron.
All right.
All right. The nominating committee of myself, Gary Salpini, and Anna Lutz are now going to provide a report for nominations for the election for today. And thank you, Gary, for agreeing with our capitulations. And so the report of the nominating committee is the nominating committee nominates Shamala Capizzi to be the commander for another year, Anna Lutz to be the senior vice commander for another year, Bob Whaley to be the first junior vice commander another year, Joe LaHaye to be the senior vice commander, or I'm sorry, second junior vice commander. Sorry, I can't read. I am a Marine from Nebraska. The bar's not set that high, people. And I would say that we're nominating Kathleen Schultz as treasurer, but we've already appointed her to that position forever, I think. No?
Perpetuity.
In perpetuity. We do not have a nomination for chaplain. Our previous chaplain, Reverend John Hoffman, as you've heard from his own mouth this morning, has been suffering with Parkinson's and is just not able to fulfill that void. So we do not have a recommendation, but our recommendation for the department executive committee member is Shamala Capizzi, and the alternate department executive committee member is Anna Lutz. So that is the report of the chapter nominating committee.
A motion to accept nominating committee report. Do I have a first?
I'll make the motion.
Gary Salpini makes the first.
Bob makes.
No,
the-
John Berger.
John Berger makes the second. Any questions on the motions? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
All right, good to go. Motion carries.
The commander would like to entertain a motion
Motion.
to dispense with the chapter committee reports and normal business to conduct chapter elections. Do we have a motion?
Do we have a motion? Do I have a second?
Joe LaHaye
Okay.
first, John Berger second.
All right, any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. All right, election of officers.
Now we're on to the election of officers. I'm going to take over just for a minute because
Okay.
I don't think you should hold the vote on your own
Oh, yeah,
position.
yeah.
I mean, we're a little laxed around here, but I think that might be a little too much.
Pretty much.
The nominating committee has nominated Shamala Capizzi as chapter commander. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, I close nominations and declare Shamala Capizzi as chapter commander.
Thank you. Oh, I don't know why I did that. Sorry.
I wanted Shamala Capizzi as the commander.
So now you can do, you want me to do the rest or you want to do it?
That's fine. Whatever. You want to do it or you want?
The nominating committee has nominated Anna Lutz as senior vice commander. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, I close nominations and declare Anna Lutz as chapter senior vice commander. The nominating committee has nominated Bob Whaley as first junior vice commander. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, I close nominations and declare Bob Whaley as Chapter 10's first junior vice commander. The nominating committee has nominated Joe LaHaye as second junior vice commander. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, I close nominations and declare Joe LaHaye as Chapter 10's second junior vice commander.
Yay.
The nominating committee has nominated Kathleen Schultz as chapter treasurer. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, I close nominations and declare Kathleen Schultz as chapter 10's treasurer.
Yay.
The nominating committee has not nominated anyone for chapter chaplain. The chaplain shall perform the duties of the chaplain station as set forth in the official DAV ritual. They shall visit the sick and comfort the families of those members that pass away, and shall be responsible for encourage attendance at DAV conducted funerals and the proper conduct thereof. Are there any nominations for chapter chaplain? We don't have any, so we can just move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really hoping someone would volunteer.
That's why I meant, yeah.
Yeah.
The nominating committee has nominated Shamala Capizzi as Chapter 10's Department Executive Committee member. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, I close nominations and declare Shamala Capizzi as Chapter 10's Department Executive Committee member. We're almost there, people. Bear with us.
Hold
Here we
fast.
go. The nominating committee has nominated Anna Lutz as Chapter 10's alternate department executive committee member. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, I close nominations and declare Anna Lutz as Chapter 10's alternate DEC.
Yay.
Now you read this.
I will now instruct Chapter Adjutant Learman to cast one anonymous ballot.
Unanimous.
Anonymous, sorry.
Unanimous. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm a Marine too, so.
Yeah, what do you get?
You know what I'm saying?
There's not a lot of crayons left around up here, is
Yeah,
what we're saying.
Yeah, and I'm hungry too. And I'm hungry and my blood sugar's a little low.
So thank you, Comrade Commander. I, Shane Lerman, Chapter Adjutant, cast one unanimous ballot for Shamla Capizzi as Commander, Anna Lutz as Senior Vice Commander, Bob Whaley as First Junior Vice Commander, Joe LaHaye as Second Junior Vice Commander, Kathleen Schultz as Treasurer, Shamla Capizzi as the Department Executive Committee member, and Anna Lutz as the alternate Department Executive Committee member. Yay!
Yay. All right, motion to return to normal chapter business.
I'll make the motion.
All right, motion. Do I have a second?
Gary Salpini first. No, and it's an appointed position, Ron. I know. We might keep you out of that one.
All right, any question on the motion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Those opposed? All right, good to go. Motion carries. Let's go.
Returning back to normal
More
business.
business.
Look at this. Like we know what we're doing.
Exactly. All right, unfinished business. All right, so it's that year again. It's American Veteran Disabled for Life Memorial cleaning dates. So if you don't know, the memorial is located on 150 Washington Avenue, Southwest Washington. I act like I've never been there. So we have received our dates for 2023, and some are the same days as planned meetings.
So we've been volunteering to clean the American Veterans Disabled for Life Memorial in DC since 2017. So this will be our 5th year because we didn't that first year of COVID. They used to let us kind of pick our dates. We don't get to pick them anymore. The National Park Service basically just says, here's the dates available. So we don't get a lot of choice. So those dates are, oh, what did I do? I don't know what I did. Did I close it? No, I didn't.
Oh, there it is. It's back. Rewind.
Yeah, I know. I could have just said back to the spot we stopped, but I missed that button. So we're just going to move along. All right. So the dates they've provided us this year, it's 6. They're all Saturdays, May 27th, June 24th, July 22nd, August 19th, September 16th, and October 28th. We are the only DAV body in the entire country that cleans the memorial. For those of you not familiar with the memorial, we often refer to it as DAV's memorial. DAV donated the bulk of the money it took to build that memorial in downtown DC. So we are there to volunteer and take care of it. Now, these are the only dates they offered, and 3 of those dates are the same days we have a chapter meeting scheduled here. Since we already have the chapter meetings scheduled here, it's kind of hard to try to get those scheduled on to different dates. So what I would propose is that we take the dates they offered, because they're the only dates they're offering, and I don't want us to skip a year of cleaning the memorial. We reach out to the other chapters in Northern Virginia, Chapter 48 in Woodbridge, Chapter 7 in Fredericksburg, the Department of DAV in Washington, D.C.,
Mhm.
and certain chapters in Maryland, and see if we can get them to volunteer and help us, especially on the days that we have chapter meetings. Now, the cleaning is from 7:30 in the morning till about 8:15.
Mhm.
We have between 7 to 10 people. We can knock it out in a half hour, 45 minutes. There's the big walls, not the stone ones you see there, but the like glass made walls. They're full of bird poop, and so we scrub bird poop off for about an hour. It's very enjoyable, I'm telling you.
That's congressional.
He's, oh Lord.
And yeah, big congressional birds. Anywho, the more people we have volunteer to help is great. I don't want us to not accept those dates. I know we have meetings, but if we can get the other chapters and the other departments in the area to help us, especially on those 3 days, I think we still can accept those, because again, it starts 7:30. So let's say a few of us were silly enough to go there and clean the memorial till about 8:30 and then head directly over here. Theoretically, we could make it in time for the meeting.
Is there someplace close to where we could host a remote for people who show up, so that they could attend the meeting afterwards and provide breakfast?
That's a really good idea. And actually, there is. Maybe I'd have to get permission.
Oh, are we talking about in your office? In
Yeah,
your building?
DAV's National Service and Legislative Headquarters is about a mile and a half from there.
It's down the street. Yeah.
But the building is pending sale, and we're going to be moving to a new location in August.
Mhm.
But to your point, yeah, I don't think it would work for the August and September meeting, but it could work for the June meeting.
Well, maybe if we could find someplace to actually have breakfast.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, but it's hard to hold a meeting in a place that you're eating breakfast in. It'd be easier to have a meeting in a place like this and have breakfast catered in, right?
Okay.
I'm just saying, otherwise you got customers and waitresses and people yelling and screaming and, "Where's my damn eggs?" You know, nobody wants to hear that during a meeting. Oh, well, who's yelling, "Where's my damn eggs?" during our normal meeting?
I can do that if you want.
I guess we'll figure it out.
Right. If we did it in a restaurant, to Kathleen's point, we wouldn't be able to display all of this stuff in a restaurant. But if I can get us potentially our headquarters building on the first floor, we could set up it remotely there and then have people here for the meeting.
Yeah. We could do that. Okay. No. All DC, or I think all the chapters in
Nobody's
DC,
allowed to meet there right now,
due to the building.
but since
sale.
I am employed there, I might have but that is a good idea. So yes, I think that's something we can look into.
Mhm.
We could still have people meeting here, but for those who go to the cleaning, they could meet somewhere and still remotely attend the
And
meeting
participate.
without having to hurry over here. That's a good idea, actually, when you think about it.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'll look into that, John, to see if we can find a way to fix that. Is there a motion to accept the meeting or the cleaning dates as presented to us, and that we volunteer again for the 6th year?
All right. Second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor? Those opposed? All right, motion carries for the dates. All right, resolutions.
Resolutions is something we've talked about before. Resolutions generally start at a chapter level. It is our opinion on usually something to do legislatively. This sets DAV's national legislative agenda every year. Last year, Chapter 10 wrote and adopted 22 different resolutions to deal with everything from Agent Orange exposure to women veterans treatment to mental health and to homeless veterans. They were all adopted at the Department of Virginia DAV convention last year and went to the national convention last year to become a part of our legislative agenda. So we need to get those approved at our next meeting in May, because they're due to the department 2 weeks before the department convention. The department convention is the week of June 16th, roughly. So we need to have our resolutions voted on at our May 20th meeting. So if you have ideas about resolutions and things, let us know. But if you want to find all our existing resolutions, I'll put in a link. The national organization has close to 300 resolutions. Our resolutions are specific to disabled veterans and their families. That's it. We don't get involved in a lot of DOD issues. We do not get involved in national defense issues. We get involved in our veterans getting the health care and benefits they deserve, as well as their families. So our mission is a lot simpler that way.
All right, new business.
The installation of the newly elected officers, that will be at the May 20th meeting. Our newly installed, not new, but newly installed, or newly elected,
Mhm.
newly re-elected. Anyway, Shamala here will be making her appointments for appointed positions at the May 20th meeting. We ask everybody that was elected today, or for those that will be appointed prior to that meeting or at that meeting, to come in professional attire. Why? We like to do photos of the whole group in professional attire. We put them on our social media posts. We try to look more than just a bunch of broken old veterans sitting around talking and telling stories. I'm not saying that we are more than that. We just try to look like we're more than that. So, and then Commander Capizzi, you will need to find an installing officer, somebody to install the incoming officers for the chapter.
Okay. Is that?
It doesn't have to be me.
Oh, doesn't have to
It
be.
could be Randy Reese if that's who you
Okay, we'll do. Okay,
or Jim Marsland,
sure.
or any of those people.
Okay. All right, so DAV Virginia Convention information seminar is June 12th. The DS Department Service Officers or Chapter Service Officer training they'll be hosting is June 13th. June 15th to the 18th
Is the actual convention.
is the actual convention at the Holiday Inn at the Tanglewood in Roanoke. And the National Chaplain.
Yeah, the
Oh.
national guest
Oh, yes.
will
Okay.
be DAV's national chaplain, Deborah Varner.
Okay,
She'll
cool.
be attending as the national representative.
Oh, okay, awesome. All right. So, and then the National DAV convention, if you haven't gone this year, it will be August 5th to August 8th. It's at is that Hannah? Harris, Atlantic City. Registration is $25. Rooms are $149 a night, and chapter delegates.
You must
will
be a
there.
Yep, you must be a delegate in order to attend the national convention.
Yeah.
So in the June or July meeting, we'll be voting on delegates to attend the meeting, because you have to have credentials
Mhm.
at national convention in order to access the meetings, and most importantly, vote at the national conference
Mhm.
or at the national convention.
Yes.
So all of that will be coming up. If you are interested in attending, let us know. Just to let everybody fully aware, our chapter constitution and bylaws allows us, with certain limitations, to reimburse the chapter commander to attend the national convention every year. But since the national commander is also
a national service.
a national service officer for DAV and her trip's already paid for, we'll let her decide if she's willing to give it to the next person on the line.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I agree to that. So, Anna Lutz or any.
I'd like to
any
make
of
a
them.
motion. I'd like to make a motion that Chapter 10 reimburse Senior Vice Commander Anna Lutz if she wants to attend the national convention, in lieu of reimbursing the national or the chapter commander who already has her paid for. I so move. Do we have a second?
Do we have a second?
Gary second.
Any questions?
Everybody second.
Everybody seconds. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. All right. Motion carries. Anna Lutz will be attending the chapter.
The National Convention.
The National
reimbursed by the
Convention.
chapter.
Yep, true. All right. Good of the order. At this time, 1 minute of silence will be devoted in honor of our departed comrades. Are we standing? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's all rise and stand at attention. By the numbers, hand salute. Ready to. All right. Is there anything good for the order?
Motion to adjourn.
Hold on. May they rest in peace.
May they rest in peace.
Get your thing. Everybody may be seated.
All right. Have a seat.
Erwin's getting ahead of himself.
I know.
All right.
Sorry, something was in
We
my
have two
eye.
more things for the good of the order before we get to that, Erwin. The commanders check-in and chat. This is where we do it online. It's basically an hour-long bullshit session every other Sunday night. We don't talk about business. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about the government. We talk about things like your favorite ice cream, the first car you had in high school, and the jobs that you had or didn't have or didn't want. It's nothing serious, but it gives a lot of our fellow comrade members, like Reverend Hoffman and Jim Anders, who can't get out and about due to the severity of their Parkinson's, gives everybody a chance to have like a social hour once every other weekend. So if you will send another notice out tomorrow, if you see that, go ahead and just click it and join online, and we just sit around and BS for a while. Nothing too serious. And then the next chapter meeting, which will also be the installation of officers, will be on May 20th at 10 a.m. at the same location.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Sure. Yes, Ms. Kevin. Mm-hmm. No, I don't think so. Good question, but no. Yes, sir.
I have another question.
Sure.
Do we have any upcoming seminars on the horizon?
Seminars from us?
Or seminars in this general area?
We do not, however, well, nothing official. Commander Capizzi and I have been discussing potentially hosting a Chapter 10 information seminar to where we provide a hour or so long brief of benefits, invite fellow veterans from the immediate area to come and basically just go through all of the different types of benefits, how it works, and have people able to assist them at that time. We're thinking about doing it in September or October of this year, just because those things takes a lot to plan.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Is there any more questions? Any concerns? Yes, Miss Amanda.
San Antonio, Texas. I have a question for you. As far as transferring in, do you take a vote at chapter meeting at that time? And if so, is that done?
Sounds like I hear a motion to accept you as a transfer from Chapter 5 in Texas to Chapter 10.
Okay.
I don't know, but it sounds a little one-sided. Do we make her leave before we vote on it, or what are we going to do? All right.
Oh my gosh, she just had.
So Amanda is the new vice. She's the new assistant supervisor of the DAV service office in downtown DC. She has transferred here from Texas. Is it your desire to transfer your membership to Chapter 10?
Yes, I'd like to.
All right, we'll get you one. But before we do to that point, we'll just make it easy. All those in favor of accepting Amanda as a transfer to Chapter 10 from Chapter 5 in Texas, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
All right. Motion carries. Welcome aboard, Miss Amanda. All right.
Are we ready for the motion to adjourn yet?
Yeah. All right.
Any more questions?
Does not require a second according to
And by the way, there is coffee and water. So once we're done, you don't have to just leave. You can hang around and BS for a little bit. And we'll go from there. So,
All right. All right. Motion to adjourn. All right. Chaplain, can you lead us in a prayer?
Certainly. For those that would like to join us, join me. May the peace of God, which passes all understanding, keep our hearts and our minds in the knowledge and the love of God. Now unto the eternal Creator, all wise, Creator of the universe, the preserver of our nation, be the honor, the glory, both now and forever. Amen.
Amen. All right. Before I declare you adjourned, it is fitting and proper that we again render honor to our flag. Comrades, before us is a flag of our country. Let's always be true to its ideals and worthy traditions. Comrades, attention. Hand salute. Ready to. All right. I now declare this meeting of DAV Arlington-Fairfax Chapter 10 adjourned. Our next meeting will be held May 20th, same time, same spot.
congratulations to our new officers who are our old officers.
Yeah. I got signed up. Enter, Berger, and Hall. Anybody else? You're signed up, right? Okay, I'm not a service officer. I'm just a list keeper.
Well, thank you everybody for attending the meeting today. Everybody online greatly appreciate it. I can leave this up if everybody wants to do a little BSing while we finish up the meeting here. So if you guys just want to BS amongst yourselves, go right ahead.
Great session. Good to see everybody. See you tomorrow night.
God bless. Have a great weekend. Enjoy this beautiful day.
You
That's
as
what I'm
well. Thank you.
Shane, can you hear me?